Okay. I will not speak too fast. So everyone, today we wanted to go through a couple of updates. One is on just a general overview for the ministry group presentation and some of the church strategic planning that we've been going through with Bill Marianis. And then we'll also go through our first ministry group presentation on consensus. So starting with this page where you've got the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, this is just kind of, we've broken it out into these phases just to put some sort of timeline on it and kind of go through the things that we've already done, what we're in the process of doing, and then what we plan to do moving forward. So on phase 1, there you kind of see Bill Marianis. Obviously he came and he gave a presentation on stewardship and kind of helped us to build the framework of stewardship and what that means for our community. And out of that came the core values. So everyone had some input on the core values. Father Nathan and Deacon Anthony and some of the clergy pulled that together and kind of came up with our core values. And out of that also came the stewardship pledges. And so there was a sheet of paper there, and one side there was some sort of monetary donation. As on the backside was all of our talents that we're hoping and willing to get involved more with the parish. And that's really kind of that has led us into this phase 2. So on phase 2, if you kind of flip to the back, we've broken out into these research groups, and that's really what we've been working on. Is everyone following me so far? Are there any questions at this point? Okay. So kind of moving into this phase 2 is these ministry groups. And so stewardship, small groups, servant leadership, and consensus have been kind of established as the foundation for how we will kind of operate as a community. And those have come out of the core values that we all put together. And so down here on the timeline, you've got a schedule sort of for each of these group presentations to the parish. Today we'll go through consensus after I'm done here, and then in 2 weeks will be stewardship, then followed by servant leadership, and then in small groups. And it's kind of important as these are being presented and there are areas where you feel like you want to be more involved, please reach out to me or Father Nathan or anyone, and we'll try to, the idea is to get more focused meetings in particular areas so that we can kind of get this moving a little bit more. So, and that kind of moves into phase 3 a little bit, and that's really dividing up where we'll have meetings once a month or twice a month or whatever it might be to kind of figure out what this is going to be for our church. Right there at the bottom you see this kind of arrow that goes through the process, and this is about self-identification and church planning, and really it's community-based, and so hopefully through more focus group meetings and us getting together and really defining what this means for our parish, we'll be able to move forward. Are there any questions at this time? Clear. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would expect as we go through these consensus and these ministry group meetings, if you are interested in learning more or being more involved, please let me know, and we'll start planning a little bit more meetings. Yes?
So what did the core values end up being?
They're posted in the fellowship hall. Father Nathan?
Bulletin board?
Yeah, they're on the bulletin board. Yeah, I maybe we should figure that out. Yeah, but these are the stewardship, small groups, servant leadership are more of the ministries that we've kind of established as being important to the way that we, did you want to add anything?
No, just that the groups came out of the core values. So that's where they came from.
Yeah. Okay. Jerry Elwell will come up and he will present on consensus. So that's the other sheet of paper that you guys should have.
You need to give Jerry the microphone. Jerry. Look, he's a veteran.
Okay, I hope you can hear me, everybody. If you're hearing me well. Anyway, okay, thank you for the coaching. I needed it. I'm very enthusiastic about the small groups. I'm very excited about a lot of people that have stepped up, like Philip, that are beginning to lead things. I think that's going to be great. And I want to present a little bit about our consensus making process. This process is something that we believe we can use in these groups and also for decision-making processes going forward. The members of my group were Linda Young. She's not here today. She's the one that came up with this, and she had a lot of talents on presenting different visual aids and research and keeping us on track. And but someone who is in our group who's here today is Keith Evans. So why don't you stand up, Keith? Just stand up and raise your hand there. Okay. I want to recognize Keith. He was very valuable to the team in that he, I'll try to bring it down here. All right. Getting ready for this is going to take longer than what I'm going to present. So bear with me. Keith has a lot of talents, and he did some formatting for our group and putting it in context. So he did a lot of the wording that I'm going to go over, and also he did a lot of work with us, kept us on track, made a lot of propositions. We met, did we meet three times? Okay. We had 3 one-hour meetings, so we had. And then we decided what we're going to do, and then that's when we got into the nitty-gritty of trying to put it together. And we had a lot of emails going back and forth through Wednesday. So we were trying to model what we're talking about, consensus, by agreeing on everything that we're saying. And to do this took a lot of work, kind of wore me down, actually. How'd you feel, Pete? Were you kind of... He feels good. He feels good today. So it's a process, and working in this kind of thing where we're going for unanimity is not easy. Okay, so let's look at that. I'm going to go over the decisions that are on the left-hand side there, and tell you what's going on. Bill Mariani's asked our church, "What are you doing with all the gifts God has given you?" The consensus decision-making process is one important way of answering that question. It is different from Robert's Rules of Order, simple majority, or adversarial debate. With consensus, everyone has something to say and contribute. All need to be heard and have their concerns addressed. Here's a quick definition. Consensus is the end result of a successful decision-making process where all members feel heard and then agree with the final decisions. Here's how it works. Decision-making that leads to consensus is a unique process where people work toward widespread full agreement. Consensus is achieved when the good of the group is considered first, and where the contribution of all participants are respected and welcomed. Okay, let's look at the different little boxes here on this side. This kind of briefly describes the process. Some of you have looked at this and are somewhat familiar with it. But let's look at it today. Number 1, we introduce and clarify the proposal to be decided. This may take some interviews of the team members and writing down the proposal or proposals that they're going to come up with. And number 2, everyone explores the proposals and looks for ideas. So you kind of keep going at this and get the proposals out there, number 2. And number 3, you identify unsatisfied concerns. Okay, this is important process takes the time to look at the needs that aren't being met and concerns not addressed. Okay, the tough part usually comes numbers 4 and 5, where you discuss and modify the proposal and you test for full agreement. In a large group, there's some ways that I participated a little bit in this, and I like that. One of them is you write the proposals on a big sheet of paper, and you have them in the room, and everybody looks at them. They're right in front of you. And then you don't have people vote on them, but what you do is you give people stickers, and they go around and they put their stickers on the ones that they think are the best. Everyone has so many stickers, and so you can put that on there. So in other words, people visually look at these proposals. Another way to do it, you can do it is you can vote with your hand. If you like the proposal, you could say I want 5 on that. If you not as much, you say 4. Not as much 3. Not as much 1. Or if you're not for that proposal at all, when we kind of did a show of hands, you could just do this, which means I'm not for it at all. 0. The fist means 0. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. The other thing you can do is people can stand up can move around the room and kind of do a consensus where people stand by the proposal that they want. So that's another way to kind of move toward getting the modifying the proposal. So number 5, you test for full agreement, and then 6, you implement the decision. The decision-making steps for a group will be led by a facilitator chosen from the group. We think that a small group could accomplish this by themselves. So we're trying to make this for everybody to use. That's the idea. And the facilitator serves the group by guiding the process. They are not decision makers. They may have some decision into it if they're a very small group. But facilitators can be rotated so others have the opportunity to facilitate. So a facilitator is a group leader. It's not a specialized word. Our research team members believe this type of decision-making process has value and will be successful within our parish. We encourage you to talk to us, check out St. Peter Paul website resources under stewardship calling. They're also listed on the back side of this paper. If you turn it over on the back side, there's some resources that we have listed. Linda listed these. There's also one other book that's called Consensus-Oriented Decision-Making, which I read, which I think is excellent. If you're interested in finding out about that book, let me know. I'll tell you about that. Also, there's a cheat sheet at the end of that book that gives you a little more detail on the decision-making process that are in these boxes here. Okay. Are there any questions? Oh no. Okay. Keith, be ready for it. Here. Okay, go ahead.
On number 5, test
Yes.
for full agreement. Consensus doesn't always have 100% agreement. You can decide if you want 75% or 92% or whatever. So are we going for 100% agreement always, or does each small group decide?
I think that is up to the group. However, we in this group want to see us get as close to 100% as possible in these things. And that takes a little time. Do you have any comment on that, Keith? You want to say anything on that?
I'll just restate the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, the goal is 100%.
Okay, that's where we're coming at on this. So. Okay, another question.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for all of that work. You guys did. It sounds like it's awesome. It's really clear, and thank you. And my other question is, or a big question, who is the consensus with? So if you have like 5 group members and only 3 can meet, are they allowed to make consensus? Or, how will that, who is the group, I guess? And if somebody's not there, can you still make the decisions?
I would say yes to that. No, if 3 people are in a group and that's it, then you guys can do it. That's kind of our idea, is that everyone can use this process to make decisions. There's also some other details though. Keith, do you want to answer that too?
Yeah, so it's a specific question you're asking, right? About didn't cover it. And I think the point here today is to set out some principles, right, and some goals. And each group may have some nuances in how they apply those principles, and that's probably okay. So it's kind of to be determined by all of us as we do it.
We're not gonna have quorums or any other laws.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point too, it's the same thing. It's a very relevant question. We did talk about it, and we wanted to put the emphasis on 100% consensus and work towards that as best we can.
Well, and doesn't this blue arrow between steps 5 and 4 mean that if you test for full agreement and it's not there, you go back to 4?
Yep,
And then you
that's
keep-
right. That circle, that circle may take a while. It took a little while with our group just to get this, so. Any other questions? Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, great. So we'll have the stewardship. Heidi and Marcel will present in a couple of weeks, or in 2 weeks, on the 26th. And as we're going through this process, if you guys have ideas, or if you want to be more involved, please let me know. I think the best way to approach it is together, not just me dictating what to do. Okay. Thank you, guys.